आपके तो बहुत आपके
So,
तो it must be snowing a lot, right?
oh yeah, already shoveled one foot.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's still on.
1 foot
Yeah,
already?
yeah.
Oh,
So away from the lake, we have more snow. Towards the lake, less snow.
acha, that's interesting. That almost
Yeah,
never.
they said that it's very uh, the way it is scattered will be very, very different. It's not all over Chicago, but parts of Chicago is going to get bad blizzard, and parts of Chicago will be like, okay, okay. But then the freezing rain will start in the lakefront versus it'll still be snowing for us. So let's see. I'm traveling tomorrow. So we are going to see. And Spirit always has a problem, you know?
Yeah. Oh, you're flying spirit.
Yeah. Because that was the cheapest we could get for Mexico. And
It's always spirit is usually the cheapest. I've never used spirit myself.
I used to use it when my daughter lived in Atlanta because I had to fly there often, and that was the cheapest I could go. Because sometimes
Okay.
it would be $45 return trip, and that's like nothing, you know, you pay
Wow.
Uber that much to
Yeah.
go to the airport.
Wow.
So I used to, but it always Spirit is like you have to have your patience with them. You have to just think about the positive thing that you paid very less and you're flying. That's it.
Oh, really? Okay. So it is quite. Matlab, you have to be prepared.
Yeah, we have to be prepared. That's why I told my kids, I said, be prepared. It's Spirit. They don't tell you till the last minute that they are canceling or anything. They make you wait. And we can see the weather is worst. Every other airlines announces that they will be delayed or they will not be flying today. Spirit does not say anything. It'll just,
Really?
it is just like you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait. That's all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I tell people if you really like are looking to save money but still fly, then Spirit is good. There's no doubt about it. They charge you even to breathe, I feel like, when you're inside the flight. But if it's a short flight, just go with it. Just stay calm and you will be fine, you know.
So what happens if they cancel? Do they rebook you?
So they don't cancel. They will tell you that the next flight is coming. So you keep sitting in the airport, you know, you don't leave anywhere.
Okay.
And then sometimes you're there. Like I had one time, I was 8 hours at the airport, and my daughter's due date was like, she was almost in the hospital. She was like, Mom, I think I'm going to the hospital. And I was like, I am on my way, but it keeps on saying it's delayed, 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 you know?
Wow.
So, anyways, so, um, okay, so today we were going to talk about what happened to Smita ji.
I don't know.
I know.
You want me to send her a message?
I did. I mean, I sent her too because that's why she looks into that and I sent it there. Usually she is on time. So I just wanted to make sure like she's okay. Or did she forget?
Are you recording today?
Yes, so that you know, whatever we talk about the uh, treatise 2 or anything, we have something to back up if we have to.
Okay. Okay. So I have a unrelated question. Can I ask
Okay.
that if we are waiting on Smitaji?
Yeah, of course.
So, oh, why don't you stop recording? Because this
Okay.
is, yeah, please.
So, okay. So whenever we are treating, when we look into the metaphysical of something, it helps because whenever you think of anything related to your brain, see, our cranial nerves, our vagus nerve all go into the parts of the body and the organs, and they all are also affected if you look into how our brain works, right? And our pineal gland, pituitary gland, they um, what you call they secrete so many hormones that affect the growth of our body mentally
Mhm.
and physically. Okay,
Mhm.
so it's very important when we are treating someone to understand where they stand, so what kind of things might be happening in their body. Now some people have a very high resistance of pain. Okay, that means their cortisol is really being released more.
Mm.
Correct. So because their cortisol is releasing more, they're not feeling, so anything of too much is also too bad. Cortisol is
Mhm.
a part of defensive hormone, so we don't feel the pain. It automatically starts to suppress and it starts to defend, and we can get things in order. So when these things happen, if you treat the person understanding what is affecting and how it is affecting, then the person will be getting a good result with your
Mhm.
treatment, no matter what treatment you're giving. And
Mm.
that is one thing that I have learned from understanding the internal part of acupressure. So if you ever get to read Yellow Emperor, that is a original book of Chinese acupressure, and it has a lot of details about how yin and yang work. Why do we feel that yin is less and we are treating the yin, but actually the yang is getting less? And how do you diagnose that? Like a simple thing about, you have fever, then in the fever you start feeling the sweat, the fever goes away, you're fine, meaning the yin yang has got balanced, everything is fine. But a lot of times the fever goes away after sweating and again the fever starts, right? So those are things where again your yang is yin is overpowering your yang, and again there is an imbalance because it completely did not balance out in the very first time, and it too soon started to uh, deplete the antibodies into the system, and antigen and everything started to balance out. But then suddenly the yang yin became overpowering. Like, someone is hyper, so your yin is hyper, and your yang again goes down, and again your fever starts to come, right? So those are so many things that you can understand in detail. With the finger thing, yes, it's very important, but for anything, when I always, that's how I pick up specialties, is because when someone tells you that if you press this point here, it will help you and immediately you will feel good in your neck. Why that point? What is this point? What is exactly there? Like nobody, because when you're submitting a paper, you are not giving all the details about it, you're giving the synopsis of it. So you will have to go in and read and understand and everything. Like we read the 10 pages of the book where we have, when people are born in certain months, how the anti-month and the month of their uh, being born is. You read that, right?
No, where
Okay.
did you read that?
It was organ month, where we see the month organ. So if you're born in February, to between February 7th and 8th March, it's the lungs are strong, but your lungs are weak during August and September.
Where did you study this?
This is in the same, in the first 10 pages where we were going to read after the organ clock. It is
Oh, okay.
organ month.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So, so in that manner, like, then people say like, oh, then how do we, so this part can become a whole new chapter, right? The organ month, this is just a part of it, what is given. It can become a whole new chapter to understand what kind of that particular person might have, because we will see sometimes people who are born on the between the 7th Feb and 8th March, they will still have some lung problem, right? But then we have to go deeper, understand what the yin yang is, what it is about, what time of the day, what time of the year they are getting this. Is it all the year around? Do they have anything preconditioned, meaning did they have anything that is genetically like pre-existence, right? From the before, from the not from birth, but before birth, in the womb they might have had. Then you will have to know how the baby condition, mother's condition was when the baby was in the womb, correct? Because then it's also given here, also it is given, like when if a baby is in the womb and the mother gets shocks, like she's stressed or she has issues, the baby might be having weaker kidney, the baby might be having weaker lungs, you never know, like all these things can be a pre-existing condition in a baby.
Okay.
So those kind of things. So this
So
is a, yeah.
yesterday you gave the book Cerny. Now you're saying the Yellow Emperor's Classic of Medicine.
Yeah, that is also one of a very the book that I told you, Acupuncture Without Needles. That is a good book for us to understand acupressure. Yellow Emperor is the father of TCM.
Okay.
So, and treatise books are the father of the whole acupressure itself, whether you go for Ayurvedic acupressure, TCM, but that treatises, all the 24 treatise has kind of what you call it. Khemka sir has actually tried to derive everything that is in the book, Yellow Book of Emperor, and put it
Okay.
there in an easy way to understand. Because when you read Yellow Emperor without reading the treatise, it will just go over your head lot of things.
Okay.
Because it's not something that you everybody will understand.
Okay.
In the same way, even Park Jae-woo's books of Sujok and Six Key and Tri-Origin, if you read, a lot of things go over your head until and unless it is explained to you properly. Because the language is very much into what the thought process was, and they have just put it into the words of whatever Professor Park Jae-woo was thinking and the way he was thinking and writing. So nobody has tried to. So that is the best part of treatise, is that Khemka sir has summarized and taken out all the essences of Park Jewu and of Yellow Emperor and put it for us in the easy way.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So
We can
and
study this. We can start with the pages then.
yeah, we can, because it's already 9 o'clock, and we had mentioned that we are going to join early today. So, um, so in the beginning, there is this natural force that creates all things. So that we already know, right?
Yes.
About and that is, see, again here it says Yellow Emperor's Textbook of Physical Medicine, 2000 year BC. So this is the reference is given here, and he has taken a lot of the certain things there. Okay.
Okay.
And then it's talking about the key that we all know, that the body fluids, if the balance of the body fluids is less or more, that is when we will start feeling the imbalance in or the disease in our body. Another thing is any blockages that is there, that we can take it out due to with acupressure. any blockages. And once you remove the blockages, and if the body fluid is balanced out, so then it will be good. The body fluid, the biggest body fluid that we have in our body is the blood, right? So too much blood pressure, the flow rushing to the heart is going to give us high blood pressure. Too much less of the flow not pumping out or not reaching or anything can give us low blood pressure. So those kind of things also we can think of, or the body fluids of the urine, because the urinary bladder is not functioning well. That can also create a lot of issue. And basically, that's why urinary bladder is the biggest channel, right? It has 64 points, and that is what gives us more access to more points, because if we see, all the back shoe points are UB for
Yeah.
most of the organs. And then they are talking about the qui, which is what we call is the movement, right? The movement in the body, which is the vital force, or the prana or ki, or whatever we call in different languages. So that is what is explained. And I think that really gives us an understanding that why our body becomes diseased. Any kind of imbalance in any kind of key, whether you're talking about body fluids, you're talking about just the energy level, and energy level is also controlled by the body fluids only, right? So that is a good way of understanding how our inbuilt key is, and what we see is the key receiver, and that is the horary points that we are talking about, the organ source points, where the key is stored the most. And that is what, when we go further in the book, we will see is lot of these points that may not have been mentioned otherwise. We will see that these points really give you so much benefits, like ST40. ST40 expels cough, right? That it can help when you're having cough and cold. It helps you expel the cough. And then the meridians, and every meridians has its own way of channelizing. So all these 12 meridians, six go from flow from up to down, and six flow from down to up, correct?
Yeah.
So that is what something that we will have to learn, which energy is flowing from up to down, and which energy is flowing from down to up. And when we understand that, that also helps us. Like the kidney is helping us to excel. Uh,
Expand.
sorry,
Excrete. To
excrete.
excrete.
Yes, excrete or inhale.
Yes.
Uh, what you call inhale or exhale? Kidney helps us to inhale or exhale.
Inhale.
Inhale. And lungs help us to exhale.
Exhale.
Yeah. So that is very important, because most of the people, they always think that inhalation and exhalation is only part of the lungs, which is not true, right? So when we are inhaling, the key or the energy is moving upwards, because it's coming from the kidneys. And as we exhale, the energy is moving down from the lungs to the rest of the body, right? So automatically now, for these two, we already know that the energy moves of movement of the energy for kidney is from the foot to the top, and
Yeah.
for lungs it is from the top to the bottom,
Bottom.
I mean to the hands. So it can end up in the toes, or it can end up in the fingers, either
Mm.
or, right? So we have all these. Then we have the two meridians, which is the conception and the governing vessels.
Mm.
And so that is another thing, right?
Yes.
And then we know about the first point and the last point because they have the maximum polarities that we
Mm.
read here also, and we have talked about it in the past also. That if you don't understand anything, if we treat the first point and the last point, it also helps till we actually go, because we are stimulating the inhalation and exhalation of that point, that meridian, right? Because the meridian is, for the meridian, the inhalation exhalation is the movement of the energy, moving from up to down and down to up. Every energy has to move up and move down also, correct, to keep the circulation. So that is one thing. And then we have the organ clock. So did you have any question about the organ clock?
No.
You understood the organ clock properly,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And this, it's a good one to read because that actually reminds us that when should we tone and when should we sedate,
Yeah.
because that helps. Because a lot of people, they say like we don't know when to sedate, when to tone, but that helps us to understand when to sedate, when to tone. And there are times when we don't know exactly when to sedate, when to tone, because the symptoms are very confusing. And when people are, patients are talking to us, usually they themselves are so confused, they don't know exactly what is happening to them. When they give you the report, they go like, yeah, I don't know exactly what is happening. So recently I had a patient, he is just 32, I think 33, and he is a mechanical engineer. And so he was doing something and something happened, and he couldn't he couldn't do things that he was normally doing. Suddenly he couldn't then sleep, then his uh, arms started hurting, and everything became more and more harder and harder for him within a month. So luckily he is my daughter's friend, so he talked to her and she said, you know, why don't you come to my mom? And he came. Any question I ask him, can you do this? I don't know. I think so. I'm like, no, I want you to move your arms and tell me whether you can do it or you cannot. So I had to do a video call with him because he's a long distance person. Um, so then I started asking him. The most of the time, 60% of the questions that I asked him was, I don't know. And I had to keep on asking him again and again and again to get the understanding what exactly its problem is. Because he went to the doctors and the doctor actually said the same thing to him. We don't know, we are not sure what's wrong with you, but we will see. Just take this medication, just take this medication. And all these medications were prescribed to him, and he got tired, and that's when we intervened, right? And he got better, and now the reports came, what I diagnosed, which generally we all will be able to diagnose right away, that oh, you might have a pinched nerve and you have some problem with your c-spine. There is definitely wrong, something has to come up in the MRI or the thing. And he has lordosis. So all these things are basically helping us when we read this book and we find out different ways that people are giving us ideas, and it helps us to tell whether we need to tonify or we need to sedate the point.
So when, so for instance, if there is pain, if we just take the example of pain, like you said, pinched nerve or whatever, but fundamentally, if there is pain, so pain is excess of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And
Usually.
right. So then usually then you sedate for that, right?
Correct.
So, but if you have to look at it from Ayurvedic perspective, then what pain is, what element, what energy, or what element?
Movement, too much movement, maybe
So it's
vayu is
wind.
increased, wind is increased, right? So now I don't know if you joined Antim sir's free session that I had forwarded. स्मिता जी आज 8 बजे ज्वाइन होना था.
सॉरी मैं डिनर कर रही हूँ आज. वो अनिल सर की लास्ट क्लास थी, वो 7 बजे कंप्लीट हुई. फिर डिनर रेडी किया.
ओके
अभी मैं डिनर ले ही रही हूँ साथ.
ओके.
नहीं, मेरे को नहीं पता था कौन सी क्लास थी.
No, this was the paid class that we were talking yesterday that she
no,
joined.
the one that you were talking about.
Oh,
that you were
Antim sir
talking
की. Oh, I think you said that I did not know because मुझे जब पता चला तो immediately I had sent the link to join in Ishan. There was a free class given. So Antim sir is also one of a very good professor. So there are lot of good professors and they offer a lot of free classes also. And now I will keep in mind every time because I don't know, like I feel everybody knows, so I don't.
No, I don't know.
I will keep you posted. I'll post it in our group also. So I had asked him a question because he was explaining about that if you touch, say you have pain you have a headache, so there is pain. If you touch and it's hurting, means there is excess. But if you press and you feel good, then it is um,
Deficient.
deficient. Thank you. So then it is deficient. So I asked him, sir, how can that be? Because वायु तो बढ़ी हुई है. तो फिर मैं I asked sir कि sir ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? So he explained, लेकिन because there are 150, 160 students, so usually we don't keep on arguing with sir, and sir says that I'll explain to you later. लेकिन उसके बाद का class मैं कभी attend नहीं कर सकी.
हुई नहीं उसके बाद, शायद से क्लास हुई नहीं उसके बाद.
अच्छा हुई नहीं है. ओके
हाँ.
ओके. सो
और हमारे एग्जाम चल रहे थे तब हुई थी ना वो क्लास. तो एग्जाम के कारण भी हम लोगों ने अटेंड नहीं किया.
अच्छा. So basically what happens is that when we are talking about that pain that you asked, okay, my understanding of it is that pain is excess, but when sir explained about the deficiency also can be a pain, so we started thinking and you start reading about it. So when there is deficiency of something, then also you get pain. Correct. Because the energy movement is up and down. So maybe at that point, the energy in some way is being stagnant and we are getting pain. Because heart attacks are because of deficiency. Correct. We are getting that pain in the heart. So his argument makes sense. Correct. So mainly the pain is going to be excess, but it depends that when you are touching that point, that particular area, if it's feeling good, meaning it is deficient. यानी आप उसको ऊर्जा को बढ़ा रहे हो तो then the energy is feeling good, that meridian is feeling good, then you tone it. But
so that means, go ahead.
So that means when we have pain, we usually sedate. So usually our points are painful, right? And that's why we are sedating.
Okay.
Makes
so that
sense?
means if we look at it from Ayurvedic viewpoint, then it's wind.
It's wind.
And if we look at it from Chinese viewpoint, if we
It's
look
still
at
wind.
it's still wind.
It's still wind. Wind
Yeah.
is movement, right?
Yeah.
So the best part to combine Ayurvedic and TCM is that the elements are not changing much.
Yeah.
Only the element related to the organ is changing a little bit. Right? So that is only the thing that we have to keep thinking about. Otherwise, we are fine.
Okay.
Okay. So, so we talked about that organ clock. then we are talking about the organ month that we were saying. The table is given here. I generally don't look at this as per aspects. They, in the form also, it is always given that you pay attention to when the person is born, what month and the date they are born. So you're looking at that. I generally look at the age, because age kind of helps you to gauge whether the yin is strong or the yang is strong.
हाँ
Ji.
हाँ स्मिता जी, कल आप कह रहे थे ना कि बेटे की किडनी की एनर्जी एक्सेस हो सकती है। मैंने बाद में जब सोचा तो मुझे लगा हो सकती है, क्योंकि उसके सिम्टम्स अगर देखें तो एक सैडनेस उसमें है, मतलब जैसे कोई चीज उसने डिमांड किया नहीं होती है तो वो एकदम से दुखी हो जाता है कि अरे नहीं हुआ करके, नहीं मिला मुझे। वैसे ज्यादा वो मांगता नहीं है कुछ भी, लेकिन अगर कभी वंस इन अ वाइल कुछ मांगा, जैसे अभी क्योंकि उसकी डिमांड बड़ी होती है तो फोन या लैपटॉप तो हम लोग हमेशा पूरी नहीं कर सकते। तो अभी जैसे लैपटॉप के लिए है, उसकी डिमांड है कि अभी उसकी बैटरी खराब हो गई, नया चाहिए, तो एकदम दुखी और थोड़ा सा। एगोनी का मीनिंग्स क्या होगा?
एगनी यानी पेन, यानी वो दुखी होना।
हाँ, है ना?
हाँ,
तो और वो जो सैडनेस एनर्जी है वो किडनी की है।
सैडनेस एनर्जी, फियर इज किडनी,
ओके,
फियर
और
इज
सैडनेस
किडनी, सैडनेस इज, आप सोचो कहाँ पे आते हैं?
लंग्स की,
हार्ट।
हार्ट की। ओके ओके, तो फिर उसको मतलब हार्ट की डिफिशियंसी का पॉइंट देना पड़ेगा।
नहीं, उसको किडनी का ही पॉइंट देना है आपको। किडनी को
हम्म।
कम करना है, एक्सेस है उसको, है ना? तो सबसे पहले
हाँ।
उसको एक्सेस है तो उसको सबसे पहले K1 पे उसको स्टार मैग्नेट या चना दाना या K1 क्लासिक मेरिडियन, क्लासिक पॉइंट पे लगा दीजिए। देखिए 2
ओके
दिन में उसको क्या फर्क पड़ता है, क्या नहीं फर्क पड़ता है।
ओके।
जस्ट जस्ट गिव इट अ ट्राई, राइट? क्योंकि
करेक्ट करेक्ट।
एक सेकेंड, सैडनेस शुड बी
क्योंकि
लंग्स,
हार्ट
हाँ,
की
यू आर
तो
राइट।
हार्ट की हैप्पीनेस है।
हार्ट की हैप्पीनेस है, इसलिए मैंने सोचा
हाँ
लंग्स, लंग्स इज सैडनेस मेरे
हाँ,
हिसाब
लंग्स
से।
की होगी शायद से।
या, आई थिंक दैट यू आर राइट। and these are the things that we do get confused when we are talking also, so there is nothing wrong, but हम लोग रिपीट करते जाएंगे तो हमको ठीक से याद भी रहने लगेगा।
और जब माँ डिफिशिएंट है, मदर डिफिशिएंट है, तो फिर किडनी भी डिफिशिएंट होगी, ऐसा कुछ है क्या?
हाँ, होता है।
जैसे, है ना, क्योंकि
करेक्ट।
लंग्स की उसकी सैडनेस की एनर्जी है, वो डिफिशिएंट हो रहा है, तो किडनी भी डिफिशिएंट होना चाहिए फिर।
किडनी
पर
डिफिशिएंट नहीं होती है, जरूरी नहीं है। मदर
ओके।
की, अगर अगर मदर की इज डेफिशिएंट, द मदर विल टेक इट फ्रॉम द सन ना।
हम्म। नहीं
सन
नहीं।
हेल्प करेगा ना,
हम्म,
सन भी हेल्प करता है, मदर भी हेल्प करती है। सी,
हाँ।
डिपेंड्स, इंटरकनेक्टेड है, राइट?
ओके।
We are doing that interconnection when we are going into the organ clock, right?
हम्म।
When if sun is deficient, the mother goes to help,
यस।
correct? If mother is deficient, कौन help करेगा?
सन ही करेगा या फिर उसकी मदर भी?
Exactly. हाँ, उसकी मदर या तो सन भी हेल्प करेगा ना,
हाँ।
करेक्ट? Why? अगर हमने यथा ब्रह्मांडे तथा पिंडे, हम अगर
हम्म
जो जो नेचर में है वही हमारे शरीर में है, अगर हम ये देखें तो जब बच्चा छोटा होता है उसे ऊर्जा की जरूरत होती है तो माँ देती है।
हम्म।
जब माँ में एनर्जी कम होने लगती है तो वो जब बूढ़ी होती है तो उसका ख्याल कौन रखेगा?
बेटा।
बेटा। तो
हम्म
नेचुरली, ऐसे तो हम नहीं बोलेंगे अभी मदर की एनर्जी कम हो गई तो अभी क्या करेंगे, बेटा देखता रह जाएगा।
हम्म।
No, right? We are always
करेक्ट।
taking that interconnection of it. It is
ओके ओके।
always the yin yang, and it's
तो
always the give and take. Yes, Deepika ji.
so agony and sadness are two different things. Agony is stomach and spleen, and sadness is lung and large intestine.
Agony is stomach and spleen.
हाँ,
So agony should be dard, na? Agony should be
no, Agony is mental turmoil and acute suffering.
Acute suffering. Okay. Okay.
Agony
Thank
is
you.
your conflicting thoughts, you're struggling. It's agony
Okay.
is because she also used the word agony.
Yes, she did.
So I want to understand emotions. So agony is extreme physical or mental suffering. So
पीड़ा. एक तरह की पीड़ा. Agony
हाँ,
is पीड़ा.
हाँ. And sadness is just being sad.
Sadness is just being sad. Correct. Right. तो पीड़ा में जो हमें दर्द में पीड़ा में जो तकलीफ होती है उसकी वजह से सैडनेस हो सकती है
हाँ, so
because
the
we feel
cause
sad, right?
so the cause
तो
is stomach spleen. But ये मेरे को क्वेश्चन नहीं पता कहाँ से
नहीं
किडनी
तो फिर ये देखिए ना, मीन्स इसीलिए उसको स्टमक की प्रॉब्लम हुई, ये यहीं से कनेक्शन बन रहा होगा.
हाँ. so the stomach, अभी देखिए, when we look at the organ clock, हम लोग उसको मदर, सन एंड ग्रैंडमदर ऐसे लेते हैं, राइट?
हाँ.
करेक्ट. 3 जनरेशंस तक जाते हैं हम लोग.
हाँ.
यानी 3 ऑर्गन्स, टोटल 6 मेरिडियंस इन्वॉल्व हो जाते हैं.
यस.
करेक्ट. अभी समझो उनको बेसिक जो डेफिशिएंसी है वो लंग्स में है.
ओके. हाँ.
Okay, if the lungs are deficient, or now here the lungs become what? The mother.
यस.
Correct. The son is the kidney, na?
किडनी.
And grandmother,
स्प्लीन.
spleen and stomach. Correct.
हाँ.
तो
हाँ.
अभी जो son है, अगर mother is lungs. Correct. मदर को डेफिशिएंसी है तो सन से भी उसको लेना पड़ेगा एनर्जी, और ग्रैंड मदर खुद की मदर से भी लेना पड़ेगा.
ओके.
मेक सेंस?
हाँ. हाँ.
है ना? तो
नहीं,
अभी
लेकिन किडनी एक्सेस क्यों हुई?
किडनी एक्सेस क्यों हुई, ये आप अभी देखिए. किडनी एक्सेस इसलिए हो गई बिकॉज द यंग ऑफ किडनी हैज राइजन. यू लुक एट हिज एज.
ये ओरिजिनल क्वेश्चन क्या है ये जो हम डिस्कस
ओरिजिनल क्वेश्चन है, इनके बेटे को पेट में दर्द बाय द नेवल,
बर्निंग शुरू हुई थी.
burning and the pain was there. So she had asked a question and I had suggested, after certain things and going back and forth with her, I had suggested that it can be kidney access because of the timing that he is getting the pain. And his pain starts every time in the evening, between 5 and 7. So that is the access, that's the kidney part. And तभी access होती है, बढ़ी हुई रहती है किडनी की ऊर्जा. तो तभी वो बढ़ी हुई है, और उसी वक्त इतनी बढ़ी हुई है कि lungs have not taken. So what is the other 5 to 7 a.m. is lungs, right? यानी उसको
3 to 5 होता है, 3 to 5 होता है लंग्स. 5 to 7 LI होता है.
large intestine.
5 to 7 is
large
lung.
intestine. Large
वो
intestine.
large intestine.
Large intestine. So large intestine में, then large intestine is what? Mother. तो उधर डेफिशिएंसी है. करेक्ट. क्योंकि तभी कुछ हो नहीं रहा है तो शायद उसको कॉन्स्टिपेशन भी है. करेक्ट. So this is how we are diagnosing, and that is why I'm telling, क्यों हो गई उसकी, बढ़ गई किडनी एक्सेस क्यों हो गई, ये हम नहीं बता सकते, बिकॉज इट कैन बी सो मेनी डिफरेंट थिंग्स. इट कैन बी बिकॉज उसकी कॉन्स्टिपेशन की वजह से वो लंग्स में डेफिशिएंसी आने लगी, तो कहीं तो ऊर्जा जाएगी, तो जाके बैठ गई किडनी में.
हम्म
Make
So
sense?
इसमें then what is the treatment you're suggesting?
So the treatment would be that you have to make sure that the kidney is balanced, lungs are toned, lungs and large intestine को हम बढ़ा दे, यानी उसकी deficiency है तो वहां पे हम ऊर्जा को खींच ले,
तो
right?
organ source points treat करेंगे.
Organ source points पहले start करेंगे हम. First we will start with organ source points, फिर एक एक problem को लेना पड़ेगा. जैसे अगर उनकी कॉन्स्टिपेशन है तो पहले हम कॉन्स्टिपेशन को ठीक करेंगे. See, that is why when all these things we understand to diagnose, we have to start first to relax the person. हमेशा it is very important कि आप पहले बार जो point देते हो, that should always be either your corresponding point, या तो फिर jingual points, या तो organ source points, या first and last point, जिससे उसको पहले थोड़ा सा आराम आ जाए. Because when the person is in agony, now पीड़ा, जब कोई भी एक पीड़ा में होता है तभी उसको आप पहले उसको शांत करो तो मेटाफिजिकल एंड फिजिकल लेवल पे दे स्टार्ट हीलिंग. राइट. सी, आई ऑलवेज टेल कि don't just treat on the physical level. हमेशा make sure you are treating at the metaphysical level. And to treat on the metaphysical level, you don't have to treat them separately. But what is the mentality of human nature? सबसे पहला ह्यूमन नेचर है कि हम सेफ है कि नहीं ये हमें पता चल गया तो इट्स फाइन. अभी यहाँ पे तूफान है, मैं घर में हूं ना, मैं कहीं बाहर नहीं जा रही हूँ तो आई हैव नो पेन. बाहर तूफान
करेक्ट.
हो जाए, आंधी हो जाए, मुझे क्या फर्क पड़ रहा
मतलब
है. एक
वो तो परिवार के लोग घर पे हैं तो फिर टेंशन नहीं होती. हाँ ठीक है
नहीं
भाई,
होती.
भर के
हाँ, बर्फ पड़े, जो भी आए, कुछ भी हो जाए, आई एम फाइन. लेकिन अभी
हाँ
मेरी बेटी, इधर तूफान है, मेरी बेटी को जॉब पे जाना पड़ा तो आई एम लाइक थिंकिंग, अरे वो गई है, पहुंची कि नहीं, ठीक है कि
हाँ
नहीं, ड्राइव ठीक से किया कि नहीं. सो दिस इज गोइंग टू क्रिएट that energy, right? So first thing that to keep myself calm, मुझे क्या करना है, बेटी को बोला जब आप पहुंच जाओ मुझे बता दो कि आप पहुंच गए.
हाँ
ऑटोमेटिक माय लेवल, मेटाफिजिकल एंड फिजिकल लेवल ऑटोमेटिक गोज डाउन. फिर मैं भूल भी गई कि वो बाहर है, मैं ये भूल भी गई कि मुझे बाहर तूफान आ रहा है. करेक्ट. दिस इज एन एग्जाम्पल.
वो बेटे की मतलब जलन 3-4 दिन ऐसी हो गई, फिर डॉक्टर ने भी ऐसा बोला कि टेस्टिंग करवाना पड़ेगा समथिंग. उसमें मेरा स्ट्रेस लेवल इतना बढ़ गया कि मुझे चक्कर आने लगे. मैं मतलब खाना बनाते बनाते एकदम इतने
बैठ
तेज
गए.
पे घूमा, बोला तो मैं जमीन में ही बैठ गई. फिर मेरा जब छोटा वाला बेटा आया, उससे बोला वो होम्योपैथी की दवाई रखी थी मेरी बीपी की, मैंने कहा वो दे, मेरा शायद बीपी बढ़ा है एकदम. तो वो कह रहा
मेडिटेशन
था
किया करो.
आप अकेले बैठ करके ना, जब भी आप अकेले घर में रहती हो बीपी की दवाई एक ग्लास में रख के रखा करो, अकेले रहती हो
नो.
तो वो स्ट्रेस
सो
पे
दैट
इतना इम्पैक्ट करता है.
So, metaphysical level and physical level, when you treat, so first thing is always treat anything that can calm down the person. And that's why a lot of times we give the GV20 point. यहाँ का जो point है, जब multiple things के लिए लोग आते हैं, तो I give them a star magnet here.
ओके.
पहले ये लगा देती हूँ, वो बहुत कुछ बोल रहे थे, सब कुछ करते, तो मैं शुरू करती हूँ तो सबसे पहला पॉइंट ये दे देती हूँ लेफ्ट थंब पे. वो
Do you tone
लगाने के,
that? Do you
सॉरी,
tone that?
नो,
Do you
स्टार
tone?
मैग्नेट, स्टार मैग्नेट टू
Oh, okay.
बैलेंस इट आउट. या, टू बैलेंस इट आउट. सो जैसे ही लगाती हूँ 2 मिनट में बोलते हैं इट्स पल्सेटिंग, कुछ हो रहा है. इट्स ओके, हो रहा है ना, अभी कम हो जाएगा. एंड देन you calm them down, you put other magnets, whatever is necessary. आप मसाज शुरू कर दो, ट्विस्टिंग शुरू कर दो. उसके बाद आप corresponding points ही लगाओ, because you will also get a chance. They are going to
करेक्ट.
keep talking. Your patient will not stop talking until and unless they start feeling something. फिर बोलेंगे, ma'am, I feel something. Is it okay? I started feeling tingling. Is it okay? Oh, I'm feeling pain. Is it okay? Because now their attention is into what you're doing. what you're applying, right? So very first thing is calm them down, put the magnets or seeds wherever it is important in the correspondence, then go into each small things that they are facing. जैसे आपके बेटे को कॉन्स्टिपेशन है, तो आप पहले कॉन्स्टिपेशन का इलाज करो एक दिन के लिए, उसके बाद दूसरे दिन से आप कुछ और एक ऐड करो कि लंग्स डेफिशिएंसी है, हमें पता है, तो लंग्स डेफिशिएंसी का कौन सा पॉइंट लगा सकते हैं हम, वो लगा लो. देन कीप डूइंग दैट फॉर कपल डेज. उसको ठीक होने लगे तो फिर बोलो अभी और क्या क्या हो रहा है, because sometimes everything will start to go into its own place. Body then knows that I'm supposed to heal, and we have opened up the channels and the body starts to heal. Okay.
Is there a way that the emotion can be used to treat or to diagnose?
To diagnose emotions, you very first thing to diagnose emotions is something you have to, when you listen to the client or the patient, you have to start analyzing in your own self. And that's why it's important, I personally feel, and that's why I did my stress management course, because it helps me to understand how the brain works. At what level does your brain start to go into anxiety? At what level and why the brain starts to become into that condition, and what you can do to relax it. So if you learn certain techniques to understand few points of what a person would act like, how a person talks, how a person behaves, then it helps you to analyze their mental conditions. And then it's easy for us to treat. Of course, no matter what conditions they are in physically, there is always going to be some level of anxiety because they are in pain. And that is why GV20 helps always, you know. Or if you're doing Ayurvedic side, you can always, आपको लगे कि वो बहुत, अभी कोई बहुत बोलता है, वो चुप ही नहीं होता है, उनको सब कुछ बता देना है आपको, मुझे ऐसे भी हो रहा है, वो भी हो रहा है, फिर कोई ऐसे बोले तो मुझे हो, like you know, they are not stopping, they don't stop to even breathe. तो आपको पता है कि वो बहुत हाइपर है. Then you know कि उसके मन को थोड़ा शांत कर दो, है ना? Just calm them down. And generally, when you start rubbing or you start massaging the palms and you start massaging this area, see, this area helps. When you massage this area, it helps because it calms down the lungs, it calms down the LI, SI, heart, triple warmer, all these 6 meridians that we have. It helps. है ना? हमारा ऑक्सीजन पॉइंट यहाँ पे होता है, हमारा वाइटल पॉइंट्स यहाँ पे होते हैं, है ना? लंग्स के LU5 होता है, LI होता है यहाँ पे. So all these points will help to calm down. Bermuda Triangle, everybody knows.
हाँ, बुद्धा ट्रायंगल पता है.
Buddha Triangle, right? तो बुद्धा ट्रायंगल, हम बर्मुडा ट्रायंगल इसलिए बोलते हैं कि
मैंने
लोग
वही
लॉस्ट
लगाया
होते
था
हैं.
अभी जब मुझे चक्कर आ रहे थे ना, कंटिन्यूअस वो क्लस्टर मैग्नेट लगा के छोड़ दिया. अभी आज ही अलग करी हूँ उसको.
हाँ.
Kenny, I don't know about this Buddha triangle.
So Buddha Triangle is these two and here.
What
P6,
two?
P6, H6, right? H5.
H7
H7, हाँ. H7 and LU 9. तो ये दोनों यहाँ पे और यहाँ पे.
Okay. What is that for?
So this calms your whole system down. एकदम शांत हो जाता है. It's called Buddha Triangle. I call it Bermuda Triangle because you get lost into that 3 triangles.
Make colors, you use colors.
नहीं,
Or
क्लस्टर मैग्नेट यू कैन
only
यूज
cluster?
क्लस्टर या तो सीड्स.
Okay, not color.
नहीं, कलर नहीं.
मेरा 10:30 हो गया. I have a meeting, so I have to
ठीक है,
go.
एक और चीज होती है ना कि एक्यूरेट पोजीशन होना चाहिए अगर हम कलर लगाते हैं. अगर हम मैग्नेट लगा रहे हैं ना 19-20 भी चलेगा.
ओके,
Thank
चलो
you so
इनको
much. So you'll send recording?
आई विल सेंड.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
थैंक यू.
Bye.
ओके, बाय. अभी विल मीट नेक्स्ट वीक. ओके,
Okay.
आई विल अनाउंस इट. या,
तो अभी
Thank
आज ट्रिटाइज पढ़े नहीं ना, फिर वो वाली ट्रिटाइज रह गई हम लोग की.
हमने ऑर्गन मंथ तक कर लिया, यिन यांग
Okay.
बाकी था.
तो मैं तो 3-4 मिनट ही लेट जुड़ी थी. उसके
नहीं,
पहले आपने
आधा घंटा लेट जुड़े आप.
8 o'clock बोले थे आपने. वो मैं
हाँ,
8:30 याद था मुझे कि 8:30 है क्लास.
8:30 मेरा टाइम, 8 o'clock योर टाइम.
ओके ओके,
कोई
मुझे
बात
लग रहा
नहीं.
था 8:30 है.
नहीं, कोई इसलिए हमने मैसेज किया बिकॉज शी ऑल्सो वांटेड टू वेट, बिकॉज उनको भी अच्छा लगता है ना थोड़ा साथ में हो तो.